Hey everyone. So today we're going to be starting some kohlrabi. We're going to see how it grows in hydroponics. So there's many different ways you can start seeds for hydroponics. I start them in my aero garden with the net pot. I start them with the aero garden just in the Rockwell cube. I push it right in the aero garden. It fits right in the hole. I put my seeds in there, and then I put the little plastic domes over them so they stay moist. You've seen me start them in the muffin tin, which is up underneath my grow light, right back over there, back over that way. So there's actually lettuce seeds in there right now, and I'm going to start them in here. So I'm just going to drop 2 seeds. I made my 2 little holes. Actually, I got 3 seeds out, so I'll just throw 3 seeds in there. Actually, I have 4, but I don't need 4. So I put 3 seeds in there. I didn't really cover them up. It's got water in here, so I don't want to tip it too much, but you can still see the holes are open. And this is actually a square Rockwell cube. I put the clay pebbles in the bottom. But basically what I did was I put enough of these in there, like that, so that I could put the Rockwell cube on top of them and it would be flush to the top. Now it's fine to do that. The only thing you got to worry about now, these do supposedly hold water, a little bit of water, but I filled this up to the point where my Rockwell cube is. So I filled it actually almost all the way, halfway up, just to make sure that my Rockwell cube is touching the water so it doesn't dry out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set this right over the top, and I'll just pick a light. I'll set it under some light until it germinates. I'm going to leave it in this until it gets a good enough root system, hopefully, and then I will grow this in one of my 2-gallon buckets. That's why I did it in a 3-inch net pot. Probably don't need a 3-inch net pot, but most of my 2-gallon buckets already have holes for 3-inch net cups, so that's why I chose a 3-inch. All right, I'll bring you along, show you when it germinates, and watch it grow. See how it does. Okay, see you next time. Here is the kohlrabi. It's looking pretty good. This is actually growing in the general hydroponics fertilizer, and we'll let that grow and see what happens. Look at that kohlrabi. Maybe a little bit smaller than a tennis ball, or a little bit smaller than a hard ball. But it looks pretty, doesn't it? First time growing kohlrabi. I actually have a 2-gallon bucket. I've actually added water so far. I've added about a half a gallon to it. I'm going to keep doing that. It looks like it's taking about a half a gallon a week to keep it a quarter of the way up in the bottom of the bucket. So we'll be adding. Hopefully soon we'll be picking. Okay, today is the day. Harvesting our kohlrabi. So it actually has a good sized root that goes down through there. Looks pretty good and healthy. I'm just going to try to get right along the top of the net, or the Rockwell cube. Wow, that is a thick root. Should have brought a machete. Well, this is a pretty sharp pair of snips too. There we go. That is a hard root. There we go. Wow, it smells like cabbage. Now that I've cut it. Look at that. Gonna be cooking that in a little while. I'll bring you along. Okay, we are now gonna prepare the kohlrabi. I'm actually gonna take all the stems off. This is a no good one. Okay, so we got it down to there. So these we will actually take and take the leaves right off of these. And just not eat the stalks. So these we'll set aside. We'll cut them up and cook them in with the kohlrabi. This one had a little damage on it, so we'll get rid of that edge. Okay, now we'll cut the kohlrabi. So we're going to cut the bottom off to get rid of that center. Looks pretty good. We're going to peel it. Cut the little top off. I'm just going to chunk it up. And I'm going to throw this into just some cold water. I'm actually going to taste a piece raw. It has a very, very mild radish taste to it. You know, you get that little kind of stingy type of, that burn flavor from a radish. It's very, very faint. It actually has a little sweet taste to it. Actually tastes pretty good raw. So we're gonna chop these up as well. I'm just gonna throw them together. The little edges, I think I waited too long to pick it. The edges started to get a little bit dry on the edges. Nobody makes fun of my knife skills. Okay, the greens are prepared. Now we'll get everything else going. Oh, I need an onion. So I want all that separate. Be going in the pan at different times. So we'll grab an onion. I had a half an onion, so I'm going to cut that up and use that. Those I'll put right in the pan because they are going to cook first with the garlic until they cook down a little bit. Okay, we'll come over here. Got the onion in there. I'm going to put a teaspoon of olive oil. Teaspoon of minced garlic. I like garlic, but I don't want it too heavy because I've never had this before, so I want to have some of the kohlrabi taste. So we're going to do that over a medium heat. We're going to cook the onions down, mix that together. I'm going to add just a little bit of salt and pepper now while it cooks in there. And I'll bring you back once we're ready and that cooks down and we throw the kohlrabi in. Okay, onions are pretty much cooked down. Now I actually went through and cut up the kohlrabi a little bit smaller. So I cut up the kohlrabi so they look about that size. We're going to throw them in there. Now we just don't want it to burn, so we have to watch it. I might have to add a little bit of water. I put the temperature on low. So we're just going to wait until the kohlrabi starts to get soft. Once that's done, we'll put in our greens and then just let those cook down. So I'll be back when the kohlrabi's done. I also put the lid on, so it kind of works as a steamer in there as well, so it kind of steams it and cooks it as it gets soft. Okay, we'll be back when it's ready. It's only been a couple minutes. I actually ended up putting a 1/4 cup of water in there because there's like no water in there. And I don't want it to burn. I want it to steam. So 1/4 cup of water I just added. And now we'll let it steam. Bring the temperature up just a hair and let that steam. And we'll be back when the kohlrabi's done. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes. The water I put in there is gone. And some of the kohlrabi is browning up a little bit, so that's good. So I checked it with a fork. Some of the bigger ones are still a little bit on the crunchy side, but the smaller ones are getting a little bit tender. So I'm going to go ahead and put all my greens in. Gonna make sure that's on low. Mix them in. All right, we're gonna cover that. Let that go for however long it is. It's basically 4 o'clock right now, 3:59, so I'm thinking about 5-10 minutes at the most. So we'll be back when that's done. Okay, it's been 5 minutes. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn this off and just let this sit here now. And I'm going to get everything else ready. I'm going to keep it like half on the heat. Get everything else ready, and then I'll show you. We'll get a taste test. We'll be back. Okay, got myself a fork. It's really hot, so I just blew on it for a couple minutes, and we'll taste it and see what happens. I got some onion, some greens, and a piece of kohlrabi there. It's actually pretty good. Kohlrabi does not taste the same. You don't really get any of that radish type flavor. It tastes really good. I like it. That's how you do it, right? Eat everything. All right, that's it. I'm going to sit down for dinner. If you guys liked the video, click the like button. Please subscribe and leave a comment. Till next time, grow something or maybe even cook something. See ya.